of everything. And there have been a lot of Beatle covers. Well, not a lot of Beatle covers. So that was Stevie Wonder, We Can Work It Out. We started off the set with War's apt for this show, Why Can't We Be Friends? Because today we're going to talk about bipartisanship and the struggle to create same. We've got a special guest in the studio, Mr. David Searby, who is the founding grandpa.
Founding grandpa.
Of Komodia. So let's start off, David. Komodia sounds Greek to me. I don't speak the language. What does Komodia mean? What's the name of it?
You are correct. It is Greek to you, Michael. Komodia, spelled K-O-M-O-D-I-A, is in fact the Greek for comedy. And Komodia is a non-partisan, non-profit organization that seeks to use the power of comedy to basically produce better dialogue, better discussion, better listening.
Now we're going to get into some of the specific things you're doing, but how did you get the idea?
I was ending a wonderful career with the State Department where I succeeded in bringing peace to the world in a long career. Well, maybe not quite.
Well, we weren't at war when you ended it. So
well, actually, we had two wars.
Anyway,
not in the area that I focused on.
Splendid little wars, as John Hay would say.
Beautiful.
Right.
As beautiful as that piece of cake that our president ate the other day.
Right.
So the idea basically came as I was ending up work, and I was doing some work for the State Department on Capitol Hill, and I was amazed at how great the younger staffers were, the millennial staffers for the folks on the Hill that I worked with, because we worked in a very nonpartisan, bipartisan manner to basically look at the serious issues our country's working on. So I just decided, hey, our country is falling further and further into sort of just...
And this was pre-Trump.
This was pre-Trump.
Right.
And Trump kind of drove me forward because, leaving whatever politics out, policies are out, it's the way we speak to each other that Komodia is all about. It's not about adopting one policy over another or one party over another. It's about certain basic rules of decency, truthfulness, how we engage, how we listen to each other and not just insult.
So
sounds kind of naive, right?
Well, I mean,
radio can't show rolling eyes.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
just kidding.
no. No, I'm all for it. But I mean, these days, I was talking with Deborah, our Get Up co-host, yesterday. We were watching some Saturday Night Live clips, and Alec Baldwin was doing his Trump thing, which is funny, but A, they may be overdoing it a tad. But in a way, I watch it sometimes and I laugh, but it's also, for me personally, just sort of painful that Donald Trump is president. And it doesn't feel like a laughing matter. I mean, I don't mean to be all serious here, but it seems like you're launching this at an important time, but a really challenging time. Most people out there do not want to make jokes about this stuff. I have relatives in West Virginia, in coal country, and they think, for the most part, they think Trump's great. I haven't talked to him lately, but they've stood with him through a lot of stuff. And most of them are pretty religious, actually.
Sure.
And they think Trump is great, and I don't think they would appreciate, I'm sure they think Saturday Night Live is snarky and terrible and elitist liberal. So walking into that climate, do you know what you're up against?
Well, I think that there is very little appetite for the people in no man's land. They tend to get shot at from both sides. Look at Van Jones. I don't know if you've looked at his stuff on CNN, The Messy Truth. He's occasionally said things he probably didn't say perfectly, and he gets crucified. And trust me...
Can you think of an example?
Oh, well, when he said Trump, he was one of the two CNN people who were famously said, well, the time when Trump became president was when, and they just got dumped on after that. The other one was Fareed. Well, Fareed Zakaria said that the time when Donald Trump truly became president was when he fired those missiles.
Gotcha.
And Van Jones said the time Donald Trump became president was when he did that State of the Union speech and got that widow of the fallen Navy SEAL up, and that was the time he became president. He got a lot of grief for that. And you really do get very few people, applauding your efforts, and that's okay. It's not, people are in a very understandably partisan mood right now, and it's not about not being partisan. It's not about not fighting for your causes and what you believe in, but it's also about letting other people speak too. We're getting to the point in our country in a lot of ways where we've ceased to listen to other people we disagree with. We cease to socialize. We unfriend people on Facebook. And the two reasons why you really want to avoid that is, number one, problems are complicated. You know, our president was very surprised to learn that healthcare was complicated. Well,
Right.
a lot of other people knew that. You actually can learn something if you listen to people that you disagree with. The other reason is that the problem of negative power has gotten so strong in our country where basically we're getting to the point where no big initiatives are going to be able to go forward. Everybody has the opportunity and the ability to block the other side. And so that kind of raises big issues. Are we just going to be a country that has no ability to, you know, start fighting the war on poverty, to, you know, to start making major
I
changes?
mean, we're looking at another potential government shutdown
Yes.
in the next few weeks, is it? Or
It's
soon,
just
right?
ridiculous to be in that kind of situation. So what Komodia is about, it's about creating an area where we poke fun at both sides. You know, I post personally stuff on there that I don't agree with, but I know it's kind of trying to balance it and it makes sure that we are attracting not just liberals, conservatives, but all the people across the spectrum. Humor has the ability to get people to listen to the other side in with ways that few other techniques have, as long as you're funny. And getting back to the Saturday Night Live, I think some of the stuff that Saturday Night Live has done against Trump and has been hysterical. Let's face it, you know, poking truth to power with comedy has gone back to the Greeks, you know, Aristophanes, and so that's not going to end, nor should it end. But they need to kind of keep the Hippocratic rule of comedy is, above all, do no unfunny, or something
Right.
like that.
Don't hurt with bad jokes.
Yes, and even don't get nasty. Like they had Melissa McCarthy on with Sean Spicer in an Easter Bunny suit, hysterical because Sean Spicer was actually the Easter Bunny under the George Bush.
Yeah.
But they actually threw in a joke in there where he called the Jews the fourth most evil people on the planet. Kind of snuck it in there, and it's just like, God, that's not funny. You know, it's just kind of nasty. And, you know, Sean Spicer made that huge, you know, terrible thing he said about the Holocaust, making a mistake. And,
Holocaust censors.
yeah, I mean, but he's not taking it to the next level and having him then say that Jews are the, you know, it's just kind of like, eh. So we're missing an opportunity with comedy to get out of the echo chamber. And, you know, comedy should be used to poke fun. Let's admit, this orange president we have is kind of funny.
Oh, God.
There's a lot to poke fun at there.
Saturday Night Live's dream. CNN and Saturday Night Live have never had better ratings.
Yes. And,
Thanks
you
to
know,
you.
they should continue to do so. But as long as they kind of focus on the funny, and I think the other thing that they should remember is that they should never consciously stop trying to broaden their audience to include people that are Trump supporters. Because you really miss an opportunity. I think there are shows like The Daily Show that has basically ceased to attempt to even bring on people who don't agree with their political
Yeah, that show
views.
doesn't seem as relevant. I mean, Jon Stewart's a tough act to follow, but
Yeah.
The Daily Show doesn't seem like it's...
It's completely changed. I
Yeah.
mean, Trevor Noah's hysterical. His book,
His stand-up is good.
his stand-up is great. He wrote this incredible book called Born a Crime, which is just an amazing book. Not really a comedy book, but just an incredible book about his life story. But he's
Just-
very
he was
personal.
born into apartheid.
He was born into apartheid. So what I think his humor is taken on is sort of an anti-apartheid anger to it. And since the election, he's had exactly one conservative on the show as a
Really?
yeah. I looked at it last night. It's Tommy's whatever, the girl from The Blaze, and she's kind of a polemicist, not a very deep thinker, an easy person to shoot down on your show. And he was on Messy Truth with Van Jones, and he said, "Yeah, I'll talk to people I disagree with, but only when I feel there's a chance that I might turn their views on something." And that's kind of a bad attitude.
Mhm.
It means you basically know everything, and that you couldn't possibly learn or get a new perspective from somebody you disagree with. So, you know, comedy has the real potential, and look at what's happening to our White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Right.
It's going down the tubes.
I've
Trump
got
is
other
now.
problems with that beyond this stuff, but I understand what you're saying.
I think it's great. I
The
mean,
White House Correspondents do?
I love the White House
No,
Correspondents.
I
Do
don't.
you
I
don't?
don't. No. I
Honest
think
disagreement there.
that's right. But see, we're talking in a civilized way. This
It's
is
not
comedy
picking-
in action.
Oh,
exactly.
sorry.
No, I just not to get off on too much of a tangent, but I think it's too much of a
Yeah.
journalists patting themselves on the back, kind of love
Yeah.
fest.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
it's good to mingle with both sides, but journalists shouldn't get too cozy
True.
to the people they're covering. It has to impact their coverage. I had a chance to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner twice, and I was going to go, so I can't pretend that. But both times, I got sick and threw up as I was putting on my tux. So I must have had some deep-seated psychological. I was heaving, so this wasn't fake. It wasn't psychosomatic. It was genuine vomit. But I guess I really didn't want to go. It's funny. A second ago, you were talking about the power of humor.
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed John Waters a couple weeks ago, the filmmaker.
Yeah.
And he's controversial. And he's far left. I mean, and he was talking about sort of what you were saying a minute ago. Nobody likes somebody on a soapbox. Nobody likes a blowhard. If you're funny, you can say a lot of things. You can quote get away with a lot of stuff. If you're exactly, I love that. Yeah, those roasts. I love those things. Don has departed this mortal coil.
He was a wonderful man.
Which is a shame.
Used insults with the heart.
Well, and it's a little bit like Monty Python would do. Others would do. If you're hitting everybody,
right,
you can do it.
If you're funny.
If you're funny. Right,
yeah.
Exactly. All right. Speaking of that, let's talk about some of the initiatives you got. Well, let me first ask. I know it's early days.
Yeah.
But have you been getting much feedback to the approach?
We have a Facebook site. Komodia.
Give some of your info.
Komodia.lol is our website. KOMODIA.lol. And
how did you get .lol?
Well,
there's an LOL.
LOL is laugh out loud.
Right, but how did you?
It was cheap.
Okay, but that's like
the .org
.edu?
is owned by some guy who's trying to charge me $2,000 to get
initials?
it.
Okay.
And it's technically illegal if you're not using. You're not supposed to be doing that. But our budget doesn't quite have the ability to buy a website yet. If there's any kind-hearted donor, we are a legitimate 501c3 that actually our full federal nonprofit status came through recently. I have to update our website.
Oh, nice.
But it would be either .org or .lol. Right now we're just .lol.
Okay.
And that has links to the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that kind of stuff.
Right, okay.
What we've seen there is that people are generally civil. And you get people from the left and the right who follow us because we poke fun in both directions and they like that. That doesn't exist anywhere. There is no, as far as I know, there is no kind of effort out there to kind of really address issues and actively encourage discussion and civil debate in a successful way. I mean, there are some wonderful nonprofits out there. The Bridge Alliance, which is a group of bridgealliance.us.
Mm-hmm.
They're a wonderful group of nonprofits.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Tell us about that.
Bridge Alliance is a group of organizations that all are seeking to do what Komodia is doing, but without the power of comedy, in different ways. I'll give you an example. One is called Living Room Conversations, where they encourage people to hold living room conversations with people who disagree. What I want to do and what we want to do with Komodia is turn it into a millennial organization. That's why I'm the founding grandpa.
Children of the future.
Yeah, because we jaded old people have basically lost the ability to do this.
Very
but
much.
Young people actually have an incentive and an ability over the next 20 years to actually change the way we engage each other. So these organizations, the Bridge Alliance and Living Room Conversation, Coffee Party USA, even their Tea Party Patriots, ironically, has been partnering on some organization, some efforts to just basically, we disagree, but we can be civil about it.
So I pulled you off on a bit of a tangent. The LOL thing
The LOL.
intrigued me far too much. Talk about some of the initiatives Komodia is launching or in the midst of. Where are you guys with some of your projects? You've got the college crossover.
I'll talk about College Crossover first. College Crossover is a $5,000 pot of money, which you can apply for online, and the rules are there. And basically what we're looking for is two colleges who are ideological opposites. A conservative college and a liberal college should team up.
Brigham Young and Yale. or something.
Something like that. Right.
That'd be a
Yale's
good
had
one.
some amazing videos of non-tolerant people in Yale. Who basically would team up and address the issue of intolerance on campus. I like to use intolerance because political correctness is such a politically charged term, but there can be intolerance on the left and there can be intolerance on the right. And we want to have them team up in a live event that would be simulcast. And we can pay for that. We can help get comedians in there. And the idea is to have a conservative speak to the liberal campus, a liberal speak to the conservative campus, and have it simultaneously broadcast.
Simulcast.
Simulcast in
the
both.
term of art. Yes.
Right.
Would you have a moderator? Would you guys
Yes.
moderate? Yeah.
We have young millennial board members who I think could be great moderators, or hire somebody. But there's basically a good $5,000 pot of money there if you comply with the rules. The other projects we're doing are very similar. We have our cross drinker challenge, where
Which sounds intriguing.
Yeah, Michael.
Yes.
Cross drinker challenge is a challenge where you put on a video of you and another person who is your ideological opposite, and you basically poke fun at each other in a respectful way, and at the end show that you respect each other.
You've got one online now. It's a wrestler guy or something, or what? Who's the guy?
Oh, this is my friend who is my extreme ideological opposite.
And he's British on top of all that.
He's actually pretends to
Further.
be. He was born in Ireland but left when he was 2.
All right.
It's pretty funny. But he is a star in Con Air and The Rock. His name is Brendan Kelly. And he and I are doing the cross drinker challenge as an example of how to do it.
Okay.
And the rules are on the website.
Right.
The other ones are.
Well, let me jump in for a
okay,
second.
good.
I see Deborah has turned on her microphone. I don't know if did you have a question, Deborah? Any?
Well, I was going to hold it till the end, but it
We're
was
taking
just
questions
mostly
throughout,
about. But well, I just wanted to say that you should probably tell the listening audience about your history together, because you guys didn't just meet today.
It's true.
Well, I hit his car.
Why can't be
Yes,
We all
friends?
went to the same high
Why
school.
can't
We did. We go
be
way back.
friends?
I think the first time we met, David, you
I
knocked
pushed
my,
your face into a
water
drinking
fountain.
fountain and made it bleed.
That was good.
Really?
And that was a great start.
Went downhill from there.
But
Well,
then I made a
remember
few
you.
jokes. I
Oh,
made
how
a few
old were
jokes
you?
after that, and you laughed and said you were forgiven right away, right? That's how you remember it?
You're mostly forgiven. It's been 40
No, what
years.
year was
I'm
that?
softening.
What was that?
7
in
years
junior
old.
high school or high
7
school?
years old. First grade.
7.
First grade.
I always thought it was
Wait,
a
what?
little later, like 5th, 6th grade.
When was it? You guys went to elementary school?
We were in
together?
elementary school. We've been to school since
Vermont
7
Oh my
years old.
God! So you guys go way back.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Yep.
we do.
Wow.
That is true. We're all everyone in this room is a Walt Whitman Viking.
But you left for a long time and you traveled the world. And
Yeah, I was
worked
in
for
the State Department moving around the world.
Right. So you've
International lover.
You've gotten
We're not
Man
going
of mystery.
No, we're not going
But
there.
it's interesting because you can apply that to Komodia because you've seen points of view from all different
Right.
sides.
I've learned how to
You've looked at
listen.
life from both
Work for
sides.
state.
My wife would disagree, but I've actually learned how to listen and respect other people's point of view.
Yeah.
So,
Have you been able to bring some of the Komodia concepts into your home?
not successfully.
No? Okay.
She would strongly dispute the idea that I have a good sense of humor.
Luckily, we're not taking calls right now, so she won't be able to call in and disagree and burst the
Vehemently.
bubble here.
Or she can comment on Facebook Live if she's listening.
Absolutely.
Because we are
Absolutely.
on
I'm sure
Facebook
she's-
Live on
that's
Komodia's
right.
site and my site, Deborah Jaffe. If you want to tune in, if you're listening in, you can also
You want to see
us.
what a founding grandpa looks
Yeah,
like.
That's
at
right,
Facebook
that's
Live.
right.
We've got a few people watching.
Yeah,
Right
do you want to say hello to some people while we're talking? And I'll ask David to
Actually,
talk a little
Robbie
bit about
White
the-
has been listening.
Robbie White, fellow DJ here. He's got a
And Michelle
program
Cochran.
Sunday mornings, 9 to 12, Forbidden Alliance. Robbie's going to be guest hosting
Sarah
for us.
Hazelgrove.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Sarah. Sarah's my friend.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, here, let me look at your friends.
Bringing in the ratings.
We've
All
got
right.
a bunch of people.
And-
Oh,
okay.
Philip T. Swanson. TL
another old
Swanson.
Fang Lang.
Another-
Yes.
Right.
That's right. TL.
Another
TL.
Lawrence R. Noble
How's
has
that Fang
joined.
Lang?
Tracy Farrell Jenkins.
Tracy
Farrell,
Farrell.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
my goodness.
Alexandrina Drina, sorry. Ledesma.
That is my friend Christina. all the way
And
from
West
Venezuela.
Townsley.
Wow, see, we get international
Wes!
audience here. We
Yeah.
get
Wes.
Australia, we get
Tito.
Didn't do so well in the brackets
Ricomco.
this year, Wes. Did not do so. Tito! How
Yeah.
you doing? Hope you're coming over to dinner tonight.
Got Josh Murray from Sweden.
Asaya Mason. Yep. and my
Asaya,
friend,
Dr. Mason. Gotta love it.
Sarah Hazel. Oh, I said that already.
Yep.
Maria Sefiotti.
Mary,
Dale?
Oh, yeah,
our
she's also
friend.
a Brookmont-
Brookmont
Brookmonter.
friend.
All right.
Yeah.
Did I? Robert Carhart Jr.
Bob.
Isaiah Mason.
State Department dude.
Donna
So you
Ziegfinger.
struck a nerve.
Donna's
There's a
my
hunger.
partner in another evil scheme I have going on in the Dominican Republic, yeah.
Ricardo
She is the owner
Orlando.
of Green Earth Travel, a wonderful travel agency,
Okay.
Donna.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic. Anyway, so you've got a bunch of listeners.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You're,
Hopefully they'll get
you're tapping
involved.
a nerve here. There is clearly a hunger, a desire for comedy,
Comedy.
if you will.
Comedy.
All right. So we talked about college crossover.
College crossover.
Talked a bit about comedy roast. Talk about.
Well, we
Come on.
actually didn't do the Comedy Roast. The Comedy
All
Roast
right.
is another project where we want to get 2 Washington thought leaders into a roast. We already have the venue, we have the food, we have the venue. So now you have $5,000 to play with to bring in 2 Washington
Wow.
thought leaders with the blessings of their
You know,
organization.
sorry, speaking of the food, I used to be press.
Yeah.
The rule of thumb with press is if you serve decent food, they will show up.
Yeah.
So you got a head start.
We already have a potential interest from C-SPAN on that one.
Oh, that'd be
So that would be very cool. Because it's the kind of thing they do. It's nonpartisan, it's interesting, it's intellectual. We have the venue, it's called the Plaza Institute in Bethesda. They've done all sorts of intellectual kind of dinners and people bringing people together. And what you do there is, again, you bring 2 people, let's imagine foreign policy experts, from 2 organizations who are ideological opposites, and we're going to roast them in a very respectful way, but in a way that honors them and gives them a chance to expound their ideas on foreign policy amidst an ideologically mixed group of
It's a
people.
shame we've lost Don Rickles. He would have been perfect.
He would have been
Yeah.
perfect, yes. I'm sure he would have done it in a heartbeat because we're huge. We're huge in Komodia.
That's right. He's kind of like a patron saint in
Yes,
a
he is.
sense.
Absolutely.
All right, so we talked about the comedy roast.
Comedy
let's
roast.
talk about the Komodia Ball.
Komodia Ball, there's another little pot of money for you to put on a farcical sport. We suggest flag football, but what you do is you get 2 ideologically opposite group of kids, I'm hoping like young Democrats, young Republicans in some city, and you put on we're going to videotape a game where you have 2 comically biased referees who are making calls clearly based on their political statements, and then everybody goes out for a brewski, or if you're not over 18 and I don't want to get arrested, whatever.
21.
21, yeah, whatever.
Clean
Sorry.
here.
I live overseas, I forget. I'm sometimes...
The age is 7, right, in Dominican Republic.
Legal age.
Yeah, you're drunk when you're
No,
born.
it's 6 for beer, 7 for rum.
Well,
so.
that's responsible.
That
you can
is-
drive at 8.
Exactly. So the Komodia Ball is a video, basically, a 2 or 3 minute video that you guys will do with our help. That basically shows that people can have fun together even if they disagree.
So the idea is you're trying to get people to do these things and videotape
I want
them and
millennials.
upload them to your site.
Well, yes, the rules are all on
or
the site.
Okay.
The rules are on the
Social
site,
media.
and this is real.
Give us the website.
As Seinfeld would say, our contests are real and spectacular. Sometimes when you you can't believe something, it's like I don't believe that's real, but it's real.
Yeah.
We have the funding to do it. You just need to look at the rules, and basically you just need to come up with a good proposal.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, what's the harm?
We should introduce who we're speaking to as well, just for people who are tuning in right now.
I think since you thought of that, you should be the one who gets to do
Well,
it.
you pronounce his name better than I do.
We're here with David Searby. He's the founding grandpa
Yep.
of an organization called Komodia.
I am.
They're, exactly. He's wheezing in the corner.
You're listening to Get Up.
I'm turning his microphone off for a second.
Turn on my oxygen.
Exactly. Or turn it off, depending on how this goes. So David, he's the founding grandfather of Komodia. They're a relatively new organization, and their charge is to try to bring us together with the power
And what's the website
of
again?
humor.
Just for-
Komodia, KOMODIA.LOL. And last thing I just wanted to
LOL.
mention was we are actually looking for an executive director
Oh.
and or executive directors.
Yeah, talk about that.
Well, we want a millennial face, not this ground paw that's only good for radio and Facebook Live.
Yeah,
but
you're
we
sort
want
of like moderately hip
Yeah, I
on a
don't-
good day.
if they see the old man glasses, they're just not going to believe
Are
me.
you doing
young people.
bifocals yet?
No, I have a bifocals in my car.
Right.
Because then you can drive and kind of glance down.
Yeah, I have.
Text while you drive,
Yeah, that's the only
which is
time.
good.
I don't do that.
Which makes it easier. Yeah. Yeah.
Kids, don't listen to him. No, but we're actually looking for an executive director. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but it's designed for somebody or a team of 2 people. So you're either a political centrist who can be taken seriously by both sides, not somebody who's a political hack on either side, or you can be a team of political hacks who like each other and trust each other and won't screw this up. 2 people, and but again, there are very clear ways to go forward. We're basically looking for people who have the ability to either do a good crowdsourcing to help out in Komodia, or to bring in a donation from an organization.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of organizations out there who contribute this kind of stuff, but I think that there's a tendency to do the more safer kind of, oh, let's just hold hands things, and Komodia's a little edgy.
Well, the problem with humor,
Yeah.
too, if you're too safe, it's
Yeah.
not funny. I mean, you have to be
You
a
gotta be
little bit risky.
right.
You know,
I think the appetite for risk amongst the people who might fund us, like the Madison Initiative of the Hewlett Foundation, they just like these kind of stuff that has no risk whatsoever. And of course, humor has risk.
Yeah.
You know,
And you're based here in Washington,
based here in Washington.
but you're nationwide or worldwide? Or?
We're a nonprofit organization, and we have the ability to take in. We're going to, if we can get crowdsourcing, we can do it in any state in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We know how to comply with the legalese, and we'll do all the legalese for you. You don't have to worry about that. But what we want is people who really have the initiative and the belief that in 20 years we can be better.
Have you taken this show on the road at all? Have you gone
We've-
down south, let's say?
well,
Or,
you're in Tacoma Park, right?
We have been talking to a station in Miami that we
Ah.
want to do, where the show is he said, she said. I'm hoping to get onto them,
That's
and the
great.
great thing is it's done by a.
Which one would you be? Just checking.
I'd be the she because
cross drinker
my
challenge,
buddy
Mike.
my buddy Mike is very conservative and voted for Trump, although Trump was not his. He goes at pains to Trump wasn't his number one choice. It's more of an anti-Hillary vote, but that's that. We're talking, and but basically, look, this is we've been in worse situations in our country. Everyone tends to think it's kind of cynical and
Like
say there's
the Civil
no
War,
kind of
sort of.
Yeah, Watergate and
Yeah.
Vietnam War, and you know what? We can actually do better. We can use the power of social media, which has tended to, increase the echo chamber and increase the nastiness level and people anonymously insulting everybody. We can use that power to basically get people to be more decent to each other.
Well, I think also this Trump being president and the controversy around it has actually made people more engaged, especially young people, but everybody.
Absolutely.
I mean, because now, look at the marching, look at the
town halls.
the dialogue.
Well, we talked
yeah.
about CNN and
Which most
SNL
people
had the best
wouldn't
ratings.
have done that.
This may have saved CNN.
Yeah.
Since Fox is up.
But
Better or worse.
more importantly, because
No, I think I just made a very important point.
well, it's an important point, but it's not actually important for people
This is
in
what
this
we count, so
country
I can be dry.
necessarily to be tuning in.
Facebook Live.
Yes.
Exactly. Right.
but that
Okay,
actually
let's-
people who typically wouldn't be involved in politics are getting in politics.
Speaking
And
of
then
But
can
the
learn a
key
lot.
is
We need
go
to
to your town
discuss
halls,
and talk.
make your voice heard,
Yeah.
but let others speak also.
Yes.
The problem
And
with our
listen.
town halls, and listen, the problem with our town halls is we may be getting to the point where they become screaming matches, and
Yeah.
basically whoever brings the most people along to scream the loudest wins, and that's not exactly what a town hall
well, a lot of them are
should
now
be
with
around.
about healthcare.
Yeah,
Obamacare.
and that's part of that is good, but part of it is when you get out of control and you don't let the other side talk, or you shout down your representative so they can't even speak. I think that's going
So
too
it-
far.
Now let's talk. I want to talk about your fake news. We're talking about fake news.
Fake
You
news.
got a fake news invasion.
Yes.
News alerts? What
What
is
we
that?
love to do is put out clearly fake news to make fun of fake news. One that I posted a while ago that I'm going to repost is like Facebook changed its guidelines so that you can block people if they use all caps. You can block posts that have a certain percentage of all caps as the letters, and your Facebook will automatically block that post. Things like that, and just White House Easter egg hunt apparently going on today,
Right.
and there's big
Possibly.
big
There's some logistical
big
issues,
questions about whether they have the bandwidth to pull that off. I mean, there's all sorts of funny things you can do, and poking fun with fake news in both directions is what Komodia definitely loves to do.
Let me remind folks, you're listening to WOWD Tacoma Park.
Yes, you are.
Get Up. Michael and Deborah here along with our special guest, David Searby, founding grandpa of an organization called Komodia, which is working to bring us together with the power of humor and satire. We've been talking. It's a tough time right now.
Better
to do this.
discussion, not bring together, because people can disagree, but just agree to disagree and disagree agreeably.
So that's an interesting point though. So what's your big picture hope here? I mean, to allow people to talk in a more open way. Obviously, I think the hope is that people will start to see each other's side and come together a bit.
No, that partisan, bipartisan
So you
initiatives.
don't have good fights?
Bipartisan initiatives are good, but most of all, we want to advance comity, COMITY, which, by the way, we had one of our videos on YouTube. Was we're going up in Capitol Hill and we're going up to people and saying, "Hey, what do you think of comity?" And without exception, everybody thought we were talking about comedy. And so people have no idea what comity means. It's a beautiful.
I don't know what it means. But
I kind of didn't either, but then I isn't that word comity exactly? And comedy. Komodia's motto is comedy for comity. Comity is respecting others and listening to others and treating them with respect. And it's so funny that Eskimos have 40 words for snow because they just know snow intimately, but very few Americans know what comity means. And it's because we don't practice it. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about the need for comity. But our basic purpose is to advance comity and intelligent dialogue and debate so the best ideas prevail regardless of origin. Now, sometimes that may be an idea on the left, sometimes it might be an idea on the right, or it might be a bipartisan initiative.
Interesting. Any final thoughts for us? We're going to maybe wrap it up.
Well, I enjoyed my little brief tour here in the town of Tacoma. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. This is such a gorgeous area I've grown up close to, but didn't get to know. I'd seen it years ago, but I forgot how beautiful it's become in the last 20 years or so.
It is a nice place. It's a very nice place. All right,
Yeah.
before we let you go, David, what are some immediate next steps? You're looking for the executive director.
We're looking for people to apply.
Next couple months. What are some
Well,
milestones?
we want to, most of all, we want to hire the executive director or duo of executive directors, and get going and do a crowdsourcing or a fundraising event or get a donation from some organization and start this. There's so much rich material out there to look at things from both points of view. Like I took a post, a pro-Trump post that showed him in front of the pearly gates and saying, like, even in heaven there's extreme vetting. Well, what I did with that one, I said, Rorschach test. What do you see here? A witty political zinger or a worrisome beginning of a cult of personality?
Mm-hmm.
And so get people to look at things from opposite sides of point of view. We want people who can be funny and respectful and do these projects and make viral video hits. That's what ultimately I think Komodia will be funny. Not us.
But to spark.
Spark others to use their genius and use humor in a creative way. With us sort of leading it, but not being the creative charge.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, that's the essence of Komodia's. Simple, just pay other people with video contests to be funny and help their country, and show that we can disagree without hating each other, you know?
Well, the timing is perfect, and it's a tall order.
Our president is orange.
That's right.
We just disagree whether that's good or bad.
And I don't know if that's something we would have ever thought we would have said. Our president is orange, but...
He is. He's not black, he's not white, he's orange.
Cheeto. So we've been here talking with David Searby, the founding grandpa of Komodia, an organization devoted to not bringing us together, but making us stop hating each other.
Part of it is bringing us together, basically have better discussions, better dialogue.
And give us some of your contact information before we go.
Komodia.lol, www.komodia.lol, laugh out loud. That has our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us, please, on those. And look for our contest, look for our executive director information, and let's hope that Tacoma Radio can help this little funny idea take flight.
Well, we're all for it, and the station here is a progressive station, and a lot of the idea here is to bring people together and to have open dialogue, so this is perfect.
We also have one more question from the Facebook Live. Philip Swanson wants to know if the knee slappers are back.
Oh, we were hoping to get by that. The knee slappers were actually...
Were the knee slappers ever here?
Maybe they should make a comeback on this radio.
The knee
show.
slappers were our high school extracurricular activity where Michael and I did stand-up comedy. Radio comedy. And then we fooled everybody to think we were on... Actually, we didn't. It was an innocent mistake. everybody thought we were on WAMU FM, but we were actually on the AM channel,
Oh, but you
which
were on
had
the
like
radio.
8 listeners if you held your radio very close up to the electrical outlets.
My dad used to listen. He'd have to come over to the AU campus and drive around the parking lot.
And look for
like
the best.
parking lot A, you
Yeah.
could get it kind of. B, you'd lose it. So,
Right.
yeah, good times.
But in our high school yearbook, we were on WAMU FM, which we never said. We just said WAMU.
And you'll see, people out there listening can judge for yourselves, but you can see how successful we were, because today I'm the editor of a trade magazine, and David is a former State Department official. Neither of us really went the professional
Oh.
with comedy.
Stop. There's still
Well.
time. You're on the FM radio.
There's a
at the
little
moment.
time.
I
Yeah.
do think,
Should I
Mike, I
remind
do think that your witty, your comic depth has yet to be plumbed.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Which also implies it's not there, but fair enough.
No,
Okay.
no, it's there.
All right, well, again, thank
Deep.
you. Thank you, David, for joining us. I think it's
great.
I think it's time to
Thank
move
you.
on. Yeah, all right, great. Thank you, David. So this is an important thing you're doing. We really appreciate it. All flippancy aside, if I can be serious for 30 seconds.
Michael,
This is
thank
an
you for
important
helping
thing.
me. You're a great friend.
Absolutely, this is great stuff. All right, we're going to continue on, and thank you, David, for being with us. Okay, and we are out. That's what we say in the business.
Gonna say goodbye to your Facebook friends?
Thank you for following me on Facebook. Comedy for Comedy.
Yay.
Appreciate your support. Tell people about it and get people interested.
And what's the website again?
www.komodia, KOMODIA.LOL. It has
Great.
all the links to the social media.
Thank you. Okay.